And I'm wondering, Julie, now you and I both, I mean, like I have a background in healthcare and I came from a more like science-based degree and working in healthcare for 8 years. Yes, I have a pretty strong logic mind. So when I started leading more into the feminine, I certainly had to navigate that work with my mind, with my ego of like, just trusting information that was coming through to my intuition. And I know you also you have a strong research side. And again, it's both, right? It's not a this or that. Can you share as you began opening up more to your intuition, how have you navigated those times where like maybe your research side is really like, like, where's the science for this? Or just how have you navigated knowing that you have a strong part of yourself that appreciates that side and then also leaning into your more divine feminine? How has that looked like for you?
I think for me, because yeah, thank you. My background is in education, and so, um, and my master's is in human development. So I do love research, and I liked validity in techniques. That's why I use StrengthsFinder, is because it's validated every 3 years, it's tested across the globe, et cetera. So, um, I like that. And I would honestly say that I balance it because when I get intuitive hits, that's data, right? But it's
Mm,
data. It's just a different kind of data. Um, and I would say that there's like I said, my claircognizant is quite open.
mhm.
And so people say, how do you know that? And I'm like, well, I have connectedness in my strengths, and connectedness used to be called spirituality. And we just know things, which is an answer that people in the logic world don't love. I don't love because I want to have the answer as well. So it is a tension point within me, always. But the more that I've released the need to know the source
Yeah,
of everything,
like from a scientific viewpoint. Yeah.
right,
Yep.
right, and instead trust the data that's showing up in real time, that has allowed me to really just open and expand to allow those truths to exist with one another. Um, and so yeah, it's funny. I'm not a pendulum swinger. So like some people go all in, right? They'll be
Yep.
like, no, I now know all of my intuition and now I want to do all of the things. And I am more of a like, oh, okay. So I like the pendulum to swing right in here.
Yes.
So
Balance.
I look for data that will keep me in that balanced place. Because it's just easier for my brain to accept the data as it's coming in and to then consider what I need to do with it. I don't know if that answers your question,
It
but
beautifully answered my question. There was again so many things in there I love, but my favorite thing you said that I'm like, oh, I love that, especially for myself and because I work with other women who are very like, well, but tell me why, like, or tell me the logic part of that. You said intuitive hits are just more data. It's more
yeah,
data for your brain to work with. And even if the source is coming from something else, like it's not coming from a research paper, it's coming
right.
from within, but it's just more data that you can then use to figure out, okay, what's my next step? And for example, like when you said that, it made me think this is just an example, but let's say if someone's like waiting for, should I take this promotion or not? Right. Like, and you're just not sure. And so, sure, you can look at the data of, well, I read the job description, it looks really good, it's benefits, this, that, and the other thing. And let's say you're using some other things to weigh that decision. Should I take this promotion or not? But then on a same intuitive level, it might be that these little synchronicities start to be delivered from the universe. Like you
Mhm.
get this phone call from someone and they happen to say, oh, yeah, I went all in on this promotion and it went great.
Right.
Whatever, and then something else happens. You hear a song and the song's talking all about taking to the next step, going to the next level. Terrible singing. But, anyways, like, right, all of a sudden these little synchronicities start happening. It's your intuition saying, yes, you should go for it. Yes, this promotion could be the next thing for you. It's all data though. So, you might be looking at the logical side of like, well, it looks good, but is this really the thing? And then your intuition is sending you little messages like, yes, this is a tug, take it. But at the end of the day, it's all data. you still are in control and you get to decide, well, what do I want to do with all this information? And ironically, I feel like, as we know, as you know, you're with me and we're on this journey together. You know what, if we sometimes don't take like the, I don't know, the more so the lesson that's right in front of us, it'll get delivered again. You know what I mean? Like, let's say we don't take the promotion, but you still realize 5 years later, I feel like I should be doing something else. It'll come around, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
nothing's ever finite. Like, oh, I made
Right.
the quote unquote the wrong choice. It's like, no, that just means there's another lesson to be learned or another opportunity to come your way.
That's exactly it. And because I work with people in transitions a lot of times around like, do I take this promotion? I want to shift industries. I'm coming back into the workplace after raising my kids.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? And in those moments, I think what is so um freeing sometimes is like, oftentimes the job is less about the job and it's more about the learning, and I
Yes.
call those layover jobs, right? Like you have to get out of a position, maybe because it's toxic, it's outside of your control, it's not good for you.
Yes.
You get into this other position that very quickly came up for you. It looks like a good fit.